Off the dock and on the clock, Green Bay now officially has the NFL Draft.
I can think of no better place to host the NFL Draft for the great state of Wisconsin and Green Bay.
A ceremonial football ferried across Lake Michigan, being biked north right now from Milwaukee to Lambeau Field.
Bicycling is a big part of the state of Wisconsin, just like football is. And so to be able to combine the two together, it's a great opportunity to just be a part of it.
Our countdown to the draft coverage tops Action 2 News at 5.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. 345 days and counting until the 2020-25 NFL Draft, of course, hosted right here in our backyard.
Last month's draft held in Detroit today. Michigan passed the baton to Wisconsin in the form of a special football, of course. Tonight, team coverage is focused on our countdown to the draft coverage. We start in Milwaukee with Emerson Lehman, where the handoff between the states took place.
The ball has been handed off, the play underway. That draft football on its way to Titletown after an early morning trip over the choppy waters of Lake Michigan to the shoreline here in Milwaukee. The Lake Express ferry taking the handoff from Michigan and delivering that ball safely to Wisconsin. Now, the draft isn't just bringing excitement to Green Bay and the state of Wisconsin. It's expected to bring over 250,000 visitors and an economic impact of $94 million to the state, something Governor Tony Evers says everyone can celebrate.
We're the home of Titletown. We sure the hell aren't going to fumble it on our own turf.
After rocking and rolling from Detroit across the lake, that football now on more solid ground as it makes its way toward Titletown. Reporting in Milwaukee, Emerson Lehman, Action 2 News.
Thanks, Emerson. That pedal to the draft still underway hours after that handoff in Milwaukee. Brittany Schmidt following along the trail. She joins us now live in the newsroom with the path so far. And here's that pedal to the draft path from Milwaukee, starting with the ferry handoff to Titletown. Some pit stops, of course, along the way. Brittany?
Bill, the bikers are a couple of hours into their long trek, about 140 miles from Milwaukee to Titletown, with some historic pit stops along the way. Here's an aerial view of their first stop with the ceremonial football in hand, the Summerfest grounds. We are just 36 days away from the annual major music festival in Milwaukee. Next, they stopped at the Milwaukee Art Museum for a quick photo opportunity, home of 30,000 works of art. Then they got back on their bikes, Peter and Tracy Fluke on their tandem bike, and headed north along the lakeshore to Manitowoc to the Farm Wisconsin Discovery Center, a place that highlights Wisconsin's rich history of agriculture. Our crews caught up with the bicyclists along the path, embracing the football-like weather today.
It's truly an opportunity to showcase Wisconsin, our communities, the football culture, and also our great outdoor recreation culture and offerings across the state. Biking is something that's truly Wisconsin, just like football. You might not think they go together, but here we are today, cycling to hand off the football for the draft in 2025, and we hope when folks come to the draft that they're here to come visit our communities too, and maybe try biking or some other outdoor recreation.
At this time, the bikers should be getting pretty close to their stop in De Pere before continuing on their path to Titletown. We will continue to follow the Pedal to the Draft Brigade as they inch closer, mile by mile, to eventually meet up with kids to honor another Packers tradition. Cammie.
Brittany, thank you. Of course, our Emily Byer is on the ground, standing by for that caravan making its way to Lambeau Field. Emily.
Cammie, we're here on Armed Forces Drive. We are at the ready at the entrance of Nitschke Field. You can see here beautiful Lambeau Field in the background. What a gorgeous day. This would be a wonderful day to get the kids involved in that bike ride. Now the Packers are asking you and the family to come on down here. Be here at 6 o'clock sharp. Of course, the Packers putting their own twist on the draft by including the kids with the biking tradition. It was first started under the legendary Vince Lombardi in 1958. Since then, kids bring their bikes to Lambeau Field to catch a Packers player and ride over to training camp with them. And in about an hour, kids will help finish that final leg of the journey to Lambeau Field along with the caravan that is still making their way here. So again, grab your green and gold gear, get here. Again, the clock is taking you of 1 hour to meet us here at the entrance of Nitschke Field. Bill.
All right, Emily, thank you. Jason Zimmerman continues our team coverage from Lambeau Field with a countdown clock to the draft is about to be unveiled. Jason.
Bill, that clock is all set to go, I'm told. Fans are just starting to gather inside the Lambeau Field atrium for tonight's big event. That clock right behind me, you can see it. It is all covered up just above a sign greeting fans either coming to a game or visiting the stadium for another event. This is an exciting time for fans and a chance to show off the stadium and the city to a worldwide audience. Many people telling me it is long overdue, and having a countdown clock on display will allow every second to be savored leading up to the draft next spring.
Once in a lifetime opportunity for the Packers, being the smallest city in the NFL out of 32 cities. Yes, that's huge.
The unveiling of the countdown clock is scheduled to take place right around 6:30. We'll be streaming it online as well. Reporting live at Lambeau Field, Jason Zimmerman, Action 2 News.
Thank you, Jason. And as he just mentioned, we'll be streaming the countdown ceremony live on WBAY.com and, of course, our Facebook page as well. It's now 345 days until the first night of the 2025 NFL Draft. Action 2 News is covering all the aspects of the lead-up to this major event. Tomorrow we begin a weekly series called Countdown to the Draft, showing how the community is preparing for hundreds of thousands of people coming to Northeast Wisconsin next April. Find all our draft reports at WBAY.com/draft. Now to take a live look outside our Lambeau Field by our Skycam network. Clear to sunny evening out there tonight, following some really nasty hazy skies.
Hazy skies once again. It will get colder by tonight. Some of the viewing area will be under a frost advisory. Let's go right to meteorologist David Ernst with your first alert forecast. David.
Cammie, Bill, with clear skies tonight and winds that will turn lighter. Temperatures will drop fast after sunset. And as mentioned, we do have a frost advisory for some of our northern areas. And to go to Marinette northward, it does include northern Oconto and northern Marinette counties, as well as Langlade, Forest, and Florence counties. That's where temperatures tonight will be cold enough to support at least some patchy frost. So if you have any cold sensitive plants up that way, you may want to bring them inside or cover them up. Area-wide, we are generally running cooler than we were yesterday at this time by several degrees. We're still holding on to lower and middle 60s around the Fox Valley and westward, already down into the 50s along the Lake Michigan shoreline. Winds are still a bit brisk right now, especially from the Fox cities towards the lake shore, 10 to 20 miles per hour. But as we get closer to sunset, those winds will settle down and speeds will drop under 10 miles per hour throughout the night. We will stay quiet here on First Alert Viper Max. Just a little bit of high cloud cover lingering across southern Wisconsin. You see some signs of our next weather maker, far left-hand corner of your screen, a few rain showers coming out of the Dakotas. Eventually, that system will find us on Thursday. But as far as the evening goes, quiet conditions can be expected with a quick cool down once the sun sets. We'll talk more about warmer weather on the way, and our next weather maker brings some rain showers and storms on Thursday. Details coming up.
David, thank you. Wisconsin Republican-controlled state Senate has voted to override 9 vetoes from Democratic Governor Tony Evers. Among those overrides include bills regarding funding to combat PFAS pollution, managing gray wolf populations, and requiring new post-election audits. Democrats say the Senate's efforts will ultimately be fruitless, while Republicans say they want their opponents to stop playing politics with serious issues.
We shouldn't be here today wasting time on vetoes that you all know are going to be sustained.
This is a political chess game for the Democrats and the governor. You're playing with people's lives and their investments and their families. And it's time to stop.
2/3 of both the state Senate and the Assembly must vote to override the vetoes. There are no immediate plans for the Assembly to hold a vote regarding the matter.
Meanwhile, Governor Evers issuing an executive order for a special election for the 8th Congressional District following the resignation of Mike Gallagher. That district includes Green Bay and much of northeast Wisconsin. The election will be held November 5th, coinciding with the general election for that district. The winner of the special election would serve in Congress for less than 2 months, which would be then followed by the official swearing in of the winner of the general election on January 3rd. Nomination papers can be submitted to the Wisconsin Elections Commission on June 1st. When we come back, at least 8 people are killed following a bus crash in Florida.
We'll provide the latest details regarding this deadly incident and the response from officials in the area.
Well, welcome back to Action 2 News at 5. The Florida Highway Patrol is investigating a deadly accident involving a bus carrying farm workers in Marion County, Florida.
Local first responders say 8 people have died, 45 others were injured, including 8 are said to be in critical condition. Crash involved an international bus and a Ford Ranger truck on West Highway 40. Florida Highway Patrol say 2 vehicles apparently sideswiped one another. After the collision, the bus drove off the road, through a fence, and then overturned. The Marion County Sheriff's Office says West Highway 40 will remain closed for most of the day. The National Transportation Safety Board is monitoring that situation. A New York appeals court has denied former President Donald Trump's latest attempt to end the gag order in his hush money trial.
The court agreed with the judge's ruling that Trump's public statements pose a significant threat to the integrity of the case. Trump's legal team had argued that the order, which limits what he can say about witnesses, is unconstitutional. Trump has long said the gag order is unfair to him because he is unable to publicly respond to testimony from Stormy Daniels and Michael Cohen. Judge Merchan says the gag order is needed to prevent witnesses from being intimidated. So far, he has fined Trump $10,000 for violating the gag order 10 times. He also warned Trump that further violations could result in jail time. When we come back, police officers in Grand Chute honoring the fallen in a special ceremony.
The inspiration behind the candlelight vigil, and you'll be able to see it later tonight.
And high temperatures today, probably the coolest that we see all week. We stayed in the 50s for some lakeshore areas, low to mid 60s around the Fox Valley. Tomorrow, probably see some of us into the 70s, could hit the 80s by the weekend. We'll talk more about that warm up and our next weather maker bringing some rain Thursday. Details after the break.
From WBAY TV, Bill Jarts and Cami Rapson. This is Action 2 News at 5, your first alert station.
Grand Chute police officers are preparing for a special memorial tonight to honor officers who lost their lives in the line of duty.
Candlelight Vigil is part of National Police Week, which highlights the work and sacrifices of law enforcement. Emily Riley is live at the Appleton Alliance Church, where the organizers there are setting up the event right now. Emily.
Bill and Cami, this ceremony will honor the 118 officers killed in the line of duty last year nationally, including the 4 police officers from Wisconsin who lost their lives. Their names have been etched in the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C., joining over 24,000 officers who made the ultimate sacrifice. Officer Dylan Davis from the Grand Chute Police Department says this candlelight vigil tonight will pay tribute to the fallen officers and honor their memory. He says it's personal for some officers here who knew and worked with those who were killed while protecting and serving their communities.
We all go out on the road every day and we're taking calls for service and things like that, and you never know what any type of call that you take is going to turn into. So it's important for us to remember and honor those officers who paid the ultimate sacrifice.
The ceremony here at the Appleton Alliance Church will run from 6 to 8 p.m. tonight and is free to the public. Reporting live in Grand Chute, Emily Riley, Action 2 News.
Emily, thanks. Concerns continue over bird flu spreading to people as outbreaks of the virus continue among poultry in 48 states. But a doctor with UW Health says there's no need to panic. The risk of catching avian influenza or bird flu is low. According to the Centers for Disease Control, bird flu has only infected 2 people in the U.S. since 2022. The latest case was a farm worker in Texas who was infected just a few weeks ago. Outbreaks among poultry and cattle across the country do cause concerns about whether the virus can spread among people and the impact that it would have if that happened.
Been talking a lot about avian influenza the last couple of weeks. It's interesting, but like the risk to people, it's low right now, especially if you compare it to things like COVID. I think that's like the connection that a lot of people make. Like, is this the next COVID-19? And it's not.
The concern would be if the bird flu is able to mutate to more easily infect people, but right now there's no evidence suggesting that is happening. It also tends to be a mild disease for people, but more caution may be needed for those who are very young, the elderly, or those with compromised immune systems.
Looking live now at our Skycam network, overlooking northeast Wisconsin. Clear skies with most, a little haze out there maybe, but we could be dealing with another weather maker later in the week. Let's get the details now from David Ernst with our first alert forecast. David.
Bill, quiet weather for the short term here, dry and a little milder tomorrow with temperatures back into the upper 60s, even some low 70s west of the Fox Cities. Our next weather maker gets in on Thursday, some scattered thunderstorms there, but not expecting anything severe. Even warmer on Friday, back into the mid 70s for highs, maybe even some upper 70s, and could see a pop-up storm or two Friday afternoon, but chances lower compared to Thursday. Right now we are running cooler lakeside with temperatures there already down into the 50s, low and mid 60s for the Fox Valley and westward. Northwoods also checking in at the low to mid 60s. Winds are strongest closer to the lakeshore and through the Fox Valley. That wind will settle down to under 10 miles per hour later on tonight, and As that happens, the sun will be going down and temperatures will start to fall pretty quickly. Still holding on to mid to upper 40s around the Fox cities at midnight tonight, but we are going to be looking at some northern areas potentially slipping into the 30s by that time. We have some rain showers ongoing to our south. That system will stay to our south, but our next weather maker taking shape back here to the Dakotas, back into Nebraska, and that's going to be the source region for our next round of rain and storms. As far as tonight goes, clear skies to be expected, a quiet night, a little on the chilly side up north. We'll be in the low to mid 30s there, so some patchy frost is possible, but around the Fox Valley, low to mid 40s to be expected, so no frost. We do have a frost advisory for Langlade, Forest, Florence counties, as well as northern parts of Marinette and Oconto counties. So that's where frost would be most likely. We will see generally clear skies overnight, so plenty of sunshine as we get into your Wednesday morning. Winds through the day overall should be lighter than today. They'll be out of the north and the northeast with speeds around 10 miles per hour, maybe some gusts of 15 or 20. A few high thin clouds at times into the afternoon, but it should go down as a mostly sunny day. Temperatures will be into the upper half of the 60s away from Lake Michigan. Could see some low 70s, Fox cities and westward. Along the lakeshore, though, we will run cooler, upper 50s to middle 60s there. We'll put your severe weather outlook in the low category as our next weather maker gets in on Thursday. Friday and Saturday, both days could feature a stray storm popping up in the afternoon, but chances are relatively low. And then we could see a little bit more widespread rain coverage there on Sunday. But our next weather maker, again, it gets into the area on Thursday. So here's a first alert on that. We will see some potential rain showers passing through during the morning. It's by the afternoon, though, that you'll see those yellows, oranges, reds on there indicating the heavier rainfall. That's when we could see a few thunderstorms push on through the area. For now, we'll keep the severe weather outlook in the low category, but we'll keep an eye out for anything on the stronger side. Heading into Thursday night, rain showers start to pull east of the area. They wrap up overnight. We'll see a mix of sun and clouds on Friday. During the afternoon, can't rule out a stray shower or thunderstorm popping up. This runner predictor has us staying dry, and it's likely that that will again be the case on Saturday. So we'll start the morning out dry with a mix of sun and clouds, and into the afternoon could see a stray shower or a storm pop up, but nothing widespread. We had a lot of haze in the sky yesterday, not so much the case today. As we go into tomorrow, we'll be watching for more of that haze to return late as that next weather maker gets in on Thursday. Now, with the rain and storms around on Thursday, you may not notice that elevated smoke, but perhaps some of it does linger late and into Friday, so we'll have to keep an eye out for a little bit of that haze returning to end the week. 61 right now at the airport in Green Bay. Wind will be weakening tonight. Skies will be clear. Some patchy frost is possible across our northern areas. 30s and 40s for the nighttime low. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow. A milder day compared to today. Upper 60s to low 70s. Back to around 70 with the rain chances on Thursday. And then it's mid 70s and above for Friday and on into the weekend. Chris?
All right, David, thank you. The Brewers are going to be without their power-hitting first baseman for a while, but the Phoenix hope they hit a home run with the hiring of this guy as their new men's basketball coach. He's short on experience, but long on name recognition. The details when we come back. How you doing, everybody? The Phoenix find a new coach in more ways than one. Green Bay hiring radio show host and analyst Doug Gottlieb to lead the men's basketball program. His resume includes AAU coaching reps, but this will be Gottlieb's first college coaching experience. He was a consultant last year at Oklahoma State, his alma mater. He appeared on the Inside Wisconsin show today, and he spoke at length about the value of his consulting work and those AAU reps. Gottlieb was a finalist for this same job a year ago when Josh Moon hired Sundance Wicks instead. Wicks, of course, left for the Wyoming job over the weekend. Gottlieb was born in Wisconsin while his father, Bob, coached at UW-Milwaukee back in the 70s. Gottlieb may be taking this new job, but he's not quitting his old job. He's going to keep doing his radio job and trust his time management skills as he achieves his lifelong dream of being a D1 head coach.
I feel like it's a promotional element for everything Green Bay. It doesn't mean we're going to do inside Green Bay Phoenix men's basketball at every moment. But there aren't any other Division I coaches that have a national radio show. So it's going to be about time management skills. But I'm only really dark for those 2 hours.
All right, Brewers first baseman Rhys Hoskins goes on the 10-day injured list just moments ago after he injured his right hamstring last night against the Pirates. Jake Bowers, who hit a grand slam last night, is going to take Hoskins' place at first. Owen Miller has been recalled from AAA, and we'll be right back.
we're going to see temperatures in the 30s and 40s for lows tonight, but a nice rebound tomorrow, mid to upper 60s, even some low 70s west of the Fox Valley. Mostly sunny on Wednesday. Our next weather maker gets in on Thursday. Some scattered showers and thunderstorms expected, but temperatures continue to warm up into the weekend.
Thanks for watching Action 2 News at 5.
See you back here at 6. Good night.